Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of At the Mini Farm with Maggie and Tom. This is Tom.
This is Maggie.
It's not how you answer the phone
Nope.
that I hear all day
That's right.
since you're working from home,
Yep.
since everybody's working from home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody who's allowed to work from home.
Right.
So how has, I guess that's the big thing going on, how has isolation, so to speak, been going?
Well, as a hermit by nature, it's great. I don't go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. You go out and forage.
It's true. Forage the stores
Yep.
with what's left after senior hour.
Yep. Yep.
It's been getting better.
Yeah. I think I work a lot.
You're working more now than you did when you went to the office.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. It's like there's not an escape. Maybe if we had a really big house and like I went to like
10 feet
the
further.
office.
Right.
I don't know, but it's literally like between the bedroom and the bathroom, there's the office. And then you hear the ding and you're like, oh, I wonder what that was.
Right. I guess we could set you up out in the workshop. There's no insulation. It's hot or it's cold and it's noisy, but you'd be further away.
No.
So we were trying to think of what we would do for our first episode and how we would describe what we want this podcast to be. And the truth is we don't know what we want it to be. It's just our sort of free-flowing talk about our dogs, talk with our friends, talk about our goats, talk about our chickens. Maggie was looking at chickens, I don't know, half the morning looking at roosters. I don't know why. Pictures of roosters, not our roosters, like pictures on the internet of roosters.
Because we don't know if we have a rooster.
It's true. Our chickens are, what are they, 3 months old?
Yep.
And we think that we have one who's a rooster. And his name's Igor. He walks like Igor. Like, anyway. I'm Igor.
His name is Lox, and his girlfriend's name is Cream Cheese.
Right.
They're the only named ones in the herd.
That's
Is
right.
that a herd?
It's a flock. Flock of chickens, flock of seagulls. So,
Our flock. For some reason, I expect chickens to have a different name. Because when I think flock, I think that they can fly.
you know what? We could ask Siri. But, yeah, I don't know. Herd of chickens, flock of chickens. Who knows?
Anyway, so it's the only ones that are named. Is Cream Cheese, who is beautiful. She's a salmon Faverol, and she has muffs.
Will you explain what muffs are? Because as a man, I think of something different when I think of muff.
So, well, first of all, they have 5 toes, and that's unusual. I think there's only like 6 breeds of chicken that have 5 toes, but they have 5 toes, and they have feathers on they're called their shanks, like their ankles, and they have muffs, which is kind of like their lower cheeks are puffy feathers.
So yeah, it's confirmed. A herd of chickens is a flock of chickens.
Okay. So our flock only has 2 named chickens.
Right. But I guess since we're talking about our named animals, do you want to tell everybody the names of our farm animals?
Sure. So our farm animals are collectively known as the snacks.
Right. We name our farm animals after food.
So we have the originals, the OG. So that's licorice and Snickers. Snickers is a Nigerian dwarf, and licorice is a Nubian. That's Tom's goat, by the way.
Yeah,
Licorice.
he follows me everywhere.
Then we have the second edition, which is butterscotch. And then the third edition is blackberry. And we had cupcake and truffle, but they are now at our friend Kelly's house, helping her on her mountain. And then finally, we have 2 baby doll sheep.
Yeah.
Southdown baby doll sheep.
Yep.
And they're black, well, brown. And their names are Fudgy and Mocha. So the snacks collectively are licorice, Snickers, butterscotch, blackberry, Fudgy, and Mocha.
That's right. So all edible in an emergency.
Yes, and there is an order of hierarchy as to who would go first.
That's true. We have our favorites. There's no denying it. So we could talk about our farm all day, but we can also save stuff for the podcast. And we are, to move forward, I guess we should describe where we're sitting. We're sitting in one of our little outbuildings because it's quiet. The dogs are digesting their dinner right now. We call it the granary. We don't store grain in it, but it was kind of a cool name of a cottage we stayed at when we were in England one year. They called the cottage the granary, and that name kind of stuck. So I thought it would be interesting to, when we started naming our outbuildings, to name this one the granary. So that's where we're at.
They all have names. The buildings are all named with plaques.
With plaques, yeah. It's very fancy. We are going to have our very special guest and friend, Janice Hayes, on in a few minutes. We're really looking forward to that. We will talk about her dogs and her product line of shampoo, nails. Maggie's very excited about her nails.
Yeah, she's a stylist for Color Street Nails.
Yeah, it seems like that's been all over everyone's Facebook lately. So it's the thing.
Because it's on my Facebook. So it's all over everyone's Facebook.
Right.
Because it's on my Facebook.
Right.
So that's all you see.
That's true. That is all I see.
But until you actually have nail salons opening, anyone who knows a woman in your life who has had nails done, which, funny, is not me normally. I typically only get my nails done for, like, the big shows. Like a normal weekend in Vallejo, I wouldn't get my nails done.
No, but like if we go on vacation or we're going to, like New York for Westminster or something, you always get, something special.
I would normally get my nails done.
Yeah. It's like when I get my hair cut now for something.
It'll happen at some point again.
Yeah. I mean, it's growing good right now. So we'll just let it
Kudos
go.
to my hairstylist who cut your hair.
It's true. She did a good job.
Yep.
And I think that was just before we went to England. She did that.
2 months ago.
Yeah. So it's doing good. It's not super wild yet.
No.
Should we take a quick break and try and get Janice on the phone and see how that goes? Okay, we are going to take a quick break, and then we will get Janice on the phone and have a fun conversation, I hope. All right. Okay, we are back, and let's try and get Janice on the phone here. Dial there. That's better.
Hello.
Hi. Round 2.
Round 2.
Better?
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay. Now I gotta get my beings out of here.
Our table setup only has you only get to look at one of us, so we let you look at the good one.
Okay.
Bye, Case.
Bye.
All right, so we are on the phone with professional handler, dog shampoo entrepreneur, nail stylist, Janice Hayes.
There you go. A little closer. Thank you. Yeah. Nice.
Nails?
Yep. All of the above?
All the above. Calamity statue?
Mm-hmm.
For those of you listening to the audio only, I think Janice is showing off nails and
she is.
Yeah.
And the barker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are things in isolation?
We are doing really well. I was made for this. I feel like.
It's kind of how we feel here.
I said that earlier. Tom asked me. I said I'm a hermit by nature, so really it's all good.
I'm like, I feel like I should feel a little guilty because I'm really enjoying all this time home and catching up on projects we've wanted to do for years and just stuff I haven't had time to do, like moving all our runs out of one area so the dogs can have more room to run. And I don't know, we just got to do a lot major cleaning. Everything's been cleaned like 13 times. Getting rid of clothes, getting rid of stuff I never use. And yeah, we're kicking along. So
It's good.
far, so good.
Yeah.
I know I feel a little guilty because I know a lot of people are struggling, but it's tough. But I'm enjoying it a little bit.
Are you missing dog shows?
I do, but I needed a break. So I was really having some issues and just really feeling drawn out. I got really sick over Christmas this year, so I felt like I had no break, even though, we had that little bit of downtime, but it was really short this year, and I feel like I didn't get that break that kind of rejuvenates us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I was just needing a weekend off or 2 weekends off. 2 months is maybe pushing it. But, I was really in a place where I just needed a little break, and here we all are. So I miss shows. I've enjoyed leash breaking my own puppies and training some. I've been really lucky with awesome clients. So my specials are here, and, they're keeping us afloat. And then I tripped into this nail thing, and that's doing really well. And, shampoo business is doing good because people are washing dogs at home. So it's good.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the Barker.
Okay, the Barker. So we kind of tripped into this. I didn't know Eric was already making one. And so he had already been doing this before I met him. And then when we met, he kind of pushed it to the side. I couldn't find anything I loved on the Springer bitch that I was showing at the time. Everything made her coat look dull, would almost soften her a little too much. So he's like, do you want to try the shampoo thing I was working on before I met you? And I was like, sure, we could do that. And so I tried it on her, and I loved it. It had everything I needed for her. It didn't strip any, texture out of her coat. And it was great. It just had no smell. So it's organic, it's natural, it's all that great stuff, but it had no smell. And so I was like, I want something that smells clean but doesn't make the dogs smell like they have perfume on them.
Right.
And we came up with this, the little citrus scent, and I love it. I've been using it for almost 6 years now. So we've been on the market for, I think, 2.5 years. So it's been doing really good just by word of mouth. So
That's
we've
great.
got a couple of new things coming up. Probably next week we might be able to. All this slow mail is driving us crazy because all our new labels are still in the mail, but they're almost here. So once they're here, we can kind of surprise everyone with that stuff.
But a little pitch there, something new.
So
Yes,
something to look out for.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I have to say, Janice, the shampoo, the smell is amazing.
It's good. It's
It's
good.
amazing. Yeah,
I'm not tired of it yet, and that's after 6 years.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing.
exactly.
Thank you. I know you guys have been awesome with it, so I love that.
Yeah, we love it.
Using it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those smells that it smells natural. It doesn't smell, artificially pushed. Yeah,
Right.
perfect put into
Right.
it. So you're not like, oh, I'm tired of that scent now because
Yeah.
it's just, if you like citrus,
Right.
which you're crazy if you don't.
Right. Who doesn't?
Yeah. So,
But
yeah,
it's not so overpowering that you just get sick of it. That's what I like about it.
That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
if this time off has helped you get a couple more things coming with the Barker,
Yeah.
then I'm all for it. So,
Yeah, it kind of helped push us into, we've been talking about these things for a while, but we just didn't have the time to do it. And now we just both have been forced to sit down, get the labels figured out, get the designs done, and bam, we're ready. So we just need the mail to hurry up a little bit more for us.
Yeah.
So
Let's hope the post office stays in business,
yes, exactly. Please.
I mean, it's kind of crazy where, you talked about having the time home to be able to do that, but also earlier having the time home to recover. So we're all forced to stay home to not get sick, but yet so many people are like, oh man, I needed, I didn't realize how worn out or how exhausted or how, just, if you're on if you're on the spectrum of, I'm not one of the ones getting sick, you're kind of like, oh, that was refreshing. But yeah, now I think it's been a couple months and everybody's getting antsy again. So.
Yeah, I feel like when we get started again, the handlers are going to be gone like the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just savoring the moments home because I know when it's over, we're going to go full blast again. And, it's going to be kind of hard to figure out what's the right thing to do. I feel like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't really in this situation. So I think each club has to take it one step at a time. But, you know, when people feel like they're comfortable to be out and safe, I mean,
right. And well, different clubs are going to have different, you know, timelines due, you know, to where they're located, you know, so.
I mean, anything in a big building is going to have more trouble than, say, an outside show in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just going to be, you know, I feel like us handlers are going to be on the road a lot. So
yeah, I think California is going to be low on the late on the coming back. I mean, we have a big issue, and a lot of people don't realize out here in California that the vast majority of our sites are state owned.
Right.
And at least up here in the Bay Area, the vast majority of them are being used by the state for testing and everything else. So even when they quote start opening,
not going to be able to have those facilities.
Yeah, that site isn't available necessarily.
Yeah.
So
I know.
you know,
it's almost like going back to old days. Like, do you start going to high schools again and being like, can we borrow your field?
Yeah.
You know, just kind of doing it the way we used to do it, where it was like just stuck in the middle of the field and you just make do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think as clubs, especially once it is back open, especially on the coasts where things are more expensive, they're going to have to look at, okay, well, how many people are actually going to go to shows? Because while, you know, the handlers will have the string that they can have, a majority of dog show people are like, you know, on unemployment right now and struggling to make ends meet. So I think dog shows as, you know, a hobby are going to fall to the wayside as a lot of people's hobbies are. So that's going to be very interesting.
Like yes and no, because I have clients on every spectrum, and the only consistent thing any of them say is, we can't wait to go to a dog show again. So I do feel like it's still their saving grace mentally. And I mean, I know the unemployment is definitely going to be an issue, but I do think everyone's going to want to get out of their house and just really go places. And whether it's smart or not, they're just going to want to go do something that seems normal to them again. Mm-hmm. Where I just feel like right now the normal is so out that this is normal. And I think it's a good break for people just to go show their dog and enjoy it. And I think maybe it'll go back to the way it used to be, where people stick around and watch the whole show and not just sketch out right when they get done. I mean, I know I was definitely one of those people lately where the second my last dog is done, I'm out of there, just because I just savor those moments at home. And now that I've had time at home, I'd be like, oh, wow, it'd be nice to actually sit and watch Best in Show now. Right. You know, just because it's like, all right, this is, you know, we've gotten a little rejuvenated by it. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting. It's just, I can't even really look online much at when people are discussing what shows are starting when, because I just feel like it's got to be the person's decision for themselves. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think anybody should get crucified for the right or wrong answer, because there is none. Nobody knows how to handle this.
Right.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, the whole country, the whole world is things when they start, it's just going to be a slow start back up, and everybody's just going to be taking it, you know, like half speed. So
right.
And I think there's a, you know, you're a handler who is, in my opinion, very rational in the way you're thinking about this, about the rest of the fancy.
Right.
And I think, so I'm a show chair of both an Albury club and a specialty club. And I know a lot of handlers have just been aching and dying for shows to start up. The big frustration for the entire fancy is it is run by nonprofit organizations and volunteers.
Right.
So it's
older.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably one of the youngest show chairs, like, that there are. And when you think about all the other, you know, animal related sporting events, they're not volunteers. They're not nonprofits, you know.
Right.
They just announced up here that horse racing was going to start at Golden Gate Fields in the middle of May. So no spectators, but horse racing. And Tom and I were talking about this. I'm like, my thought process is that those grooms and jockeys have probably all been living together for the last 2 months. Right. So it makes sense. Let them race and run and do what they need to do. You're not exposing other people. But when you look at a dog show, it's not the same. It's a very a very different environment.
Yeah, and the judges are the people that are at risk the most.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just, obviously they have to make their decision on their own health, because it's truly that is. So I think dog shows are really going to have to adjust the way, judging programs come out and all that kind of stuff comes up, because you just don't know. And they have to make the decision that makes sense for them.
Well, and travel.
I know. Yeah.
Right. And like even logistics at a show, as things start slowly happening and different states require different, face garments or gloves or sanitizers and everybody's going to be, it's funny that it took this for us to all learn to wash our hands again. But
I have been saying this for years. The thing that makes me cringe the most at dog shows, and I'm sorry, everybody, I don't mean to be negative, but I hate shaking hands.
Right. Bring back the fist bump.
It literally makes me cringe to stand there and shake everyone's hand, because we all know not everybody washes their hands coming out of the bathroom. Right. And it is all, and I'm like, it's over. We're never going to have to do that again.
You're right.
Like, I know it's wrong, but it's just one of my things. I'm just one of those. And, I've got hand sanitizer everywhere I turn, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have to worry about that part anymore.
Yep.
But,
even logistics of shows. I mean, we, as a show chair, Maggie's always like, okay, we have to budget for 3 minutes a dog, and this is how many dogs can adjust. And it's like, these things are now going to take longer, and it's going to be when it all starts going back, figuring out, like when you look at a schedule, okay, normally you would figure out this is how much time I have here, 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 and here. And now you're like, okay, there's going to be an adjustment period saying
it's going to have to be like, it's just really going to have to be more spread out, more time for people to do it safely. And hopefully, I mean, we're still like, just every day we just get a little more glimpse of hope as a vaccine possibly being available beginning of fall. And, there's all these things that are still happening that we just don't know how it's going to be. Because if they can get a vaccine out across the board, great. If they can get a treatment plan, it's not so scary. It's just one of those things that we just don't know how it's going to be, because it's still changing all the time.
Right.
So that's, for me, I mean, obviously I have a job to do. My clients are awesome. If they don't feel like it's safe, we don't go. It's just one of those, they've all put it in my hands and they say, if you don't feel comfortable, don't go. If you do feel comfortable, go. And they've kind of given me that leeway, and I'm just going to, we live with, Eric's dad lives with us. So we take that into consideration. He's older. We just don't want to risk anyone we love coming, because I would love to be out with my dad on the East Coast right now to visit him, since I've got all this time. But with Agent Orange and issues like that, I can't go see him. So you just never want to be that person that brings it back to a loved one.
Right.
So just really, it's going to be playing it by ear, and just, I'll enter shows. If I feel like it's safe, we'll go. If I'm still leery about it, we won't go.
Well, Maggie and I always say that the entry's the cheapest part. So,
right. That's exactly it. And I'd rather be entered than not. And, it's just one of those, there's just so much unknown right now. It's hard to make decisions. And I think that's what scares people. And it scares me. It's, I don't like not having a steady income of what dog shows are. I don't like not knowing, but I mean, for me, it's just really made me sit down and like reevaluate everything and hopefully make smarter decisions and get in the right path. I mean, I jumped into the stock market in the middle of this because I just was like, well, this is lowest it's going to be. Let's give it a go.
Well, and if you came in at the bottom, man, have you watched it the last month?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
My retirement is, I can leave it long term, so I don't have to touch it. And I think it was a good time to jump in when we did. And I just try to make some smart decisions. And I just think it's really going to help people open up their eyes and see what they need to fix. If you're struggling and you've got money problems, we've all been there. And sometimes it takes a huge push to wake you up and be like, all right, you got to get your shit together.
Yep.
Because for me, it's, these are the times that really decide that for you. So, it's hard. It's a hard way to be pushed, but
Yeah.
it's tough. But I mean, I'm one of those people, I just refuse to give in. So I've had pink and white nails my whole freaking life, and now I'm selling nail polish. I mean, come on.
So,
but I love it. I found that I love it. So go figure.
Speaking of your nails, let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and we will talk about nails. And then, of course, we need to talk about the dogs. So,
yes. As I'm watching my PBs run around.
Right. All right, everybody. So we're going to take a short break, and we will be back.
That is not Green Acres, Janice.
No, it's not. But that did go through my head.
Now this can go through your head.
So we're back, and I'm just going to step back from this one, and you ladies are going to talk about nails.
Yeah. So Janice said earlier she was talking about the little nail thing that she fell into. So these Color Street nails, I have to say, so I'm not a girly girl, really.
Maybe.
And I talked about earlier on the show, I talked about how I would only get my nails done basically for like the big shows or a big event or whatever. But I have become rather addicted to having my nails done. And I say having my nails done, on a careful application, 20 minutes.
Right.
But literally, like, my nails are just naturally paper thin and very bendy. But I can make it like a week. But tell me how you kind of fell into this, because I know this is across the board dog handlers, and I am one of them. Part of the reason I would get my nails done before the big shows is my dachshunds are piranhas.
Yeah.
And so they would literally, like, I would do acrylics or whatever. Gel was not adequate. Like,
no.
I wanted additional protection. But when you don't have nail salons, after 2 or 3 weeks, it's about the Dremel and then soak and push. And so, it was like, wow, I'm not a girly girl, but wow.
I know.
I mean, my last show was Crufts. So,
No, I've had pink and white, literally pink and white, just the acrylics since my junior's dog, my short hair, would bite through my thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd always split that nail on my thumb. I mean, there was nothing gentle about that boy. And so my dad finally said to me, why don't you get some nails like your mom so we don't have to keep cleaning up this bloody mess?
Yep.
So I've had them on for that long. And my friend was
So 5 years, Janice.
Huh?
So 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Plus 20. So my friend was selling these Color Street nails, and I was like, all right, I'm not girly, but if it'll cover up how horrible and thin and painful.
And they hurt. Yeah, they hurt.
And then every time I bathed someone, they'd bend backwards once I got and it hurt. And so I was like, fine, just send me let me do it. And I got them on, and I posted a picture on Facebook after I did them. And I was like, my God, I really like these. And she's like, do you want to sell them? And I was like, I think I do. And I was just like, because I was kind of bored at that point. I was like, I caught up on everything. And that was less than a month ago. And I'm telling you, when it took off, it took off. And I just have enjoyed it so much. It's one product that I had to learn. I learned it in and out. I'm still learning it. I try to do little videos and show people how to apply it. But I just love it. I just mixing and matching colors. I've never had color on. Eric looks at me. He's like, this is so girly for you. And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. I was like, y'all must have a girl here. But I just love it. And they're dry. They're dry once they're on. You don't have to worry about messing them up or staying still. I can't paint with my left hand to save my life. So my right hand would be all right. My left hand, a 3-year-old would do better. So, but now I can mix and match and have fun. And I mean, they come in cool little colors. Like, I think this is the one you have on right now.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
You got some blues. And then all the dog people jumped on board and we broke their internet. We have crashed their site. We have just done everything to throw it in a whirl, but we keep managing to get some good nails out to people, and people are loving them.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It'll go over acrylic. So if you do have a dog, my Grand is going to test my thumb the first show we're at, and we'll see if I have to do acrylics again. I hope not. I think my nails have gotten so much stronger. So I think they'll be okay without him yanking them off. So if I don't ever have to go back, I'll be happy, because it's an hour or 2 hours I don't have anymore. So I'm like, I don't want to sit there and get tortured somewhat.
Well, yeah. And even if we do kind of lose a part of that color or whatever, you can put another layer on at the show even.
Yes.
I mean, that's
if you're on the road and you don't have time to get fills, or you just have a pack of Color Street, throw it over and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool. So I think I'm in it for the long term. I love it. I think it's fun. I'll always have some with me. So if you want to try them, I'll always have some with me now. I just love it. I'm hooked. So if you need them, I'll be your nail girl.
So is there, since we're on the subject of nails, do you have a website, or how are people going to find it? I mean, everybody already knows where to find them, but let's just, for giggles.
I have a Facebook group. It's Janice Hayes VIP Nails. Jump in there. You can catch up with when things are getting restocked, videos on how to do them, and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's pretty easy to find. It's not too hard. Find me on Facebook. I'll get you hooked up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Janice, the love of your life, besides Eric, is pretty much to your left there.
Yes.
See, I can't see what you're seeing, so maybe you need to describe
That's
it.
all right. Other people can't see it. So this is Fan Yu's bronze of Calamity. Fan is an amazing artist. Maybe he'll be a guest on one of our podcasts at some point.
Yes, you should get him.
Right. So for those of you, this will be on for non-on audio. She's showing this awesome close-up of Calamity. Talk to us a little bit about PBs. Now, you managed to rope Tom in.
I did.
On the PBs.
They're awesome. They are truly just one.
Oh, so you got to back up. So let's go with a 5-second. What is a PBGV? It's a peanut butter something?
Yes, absolutely. So a PBGV is Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen. It's a French hound. They are the clowns of the hound group. They are the light of my life. I don't care what happens in my life. I will always have PBGVs. I truly have a passion for them. I can't get enough history about them. I can't get enough old books, new books. My mentor just did a grooming video. I couldn't watch it fast enough. I mean, I just sat in there for, hour and a half. I've already had him teaching me over 20 years now, doing the same thing. I just can't soak the breed up enough. I absolutely adore them. So they're just fun. They just always have a good day, no matter what. If your day is not going well, they will make you laugh.
It's true. We talk about, so the PBGV we had of yours, her name was Vanity.
Yes. Vanity.
And Tom called her the personal trainer of our dachshunds.
She would run them. They were like, we are done. We would like to take our afternoon nap. And she's like, no, I think you can go more.
Yes.
I will find one of you, and one of you will go more. Oh, you're not ready? Oh, you're ready now. You've been napping for 5 minutes. It's time. Get up.
It's time for you to go. Yeah. They're pushy in that. Yeah, it's good. It's good. But no, they're just fun. I mean, anyone that's ever met them knows how amazing the breed is. I mean, they used to have a bad rap because they were more kennel dogs. Now we've spoiled them rotten. So they can live in your house. They're easy to live with. I tell everybody that has one, the first 2 years, you'll come home with this perfect puppy that does no wrong. And then they can completely lose it, turn into little crazy beings. And then right around that 2.5, 3-year-old age, they turn into the perfect pets. So if you can get through those first 2 rough years where they're a little ornery, I find it endearing. Other people do not. But they're just an awesome breed.
I don't think it's any different than most puppies, though. I mean, what people I think people don't realize that dogs are puppies for 18 to 24 months. Like they
Yes,
don't
yeah.
realize that, oh, well, they're 7 months old. They shouldn't be a puppy anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Right.
get
Especially
started.
if the dogs are bigger, because they're like, oh, well, it's full grown at,
Right.
say 9 months. And it's like,
Right.
that's still
Right.
a baby.
And especially so our breeds are dachshunds, as you know, and PBGVs, but like they don't live like 7 or 10 years. Hopefully they live a lot longer than that. So
Right.
at 2,
Yeah.
they just turned into an adult. I mean,
Right.
those kind of giant breeds that live maybe 7, 8 years,
Right. It's
you
a
know,
little fast.
it's a
Yeah.
faster progression,
Yeah.
but
I have a 14-year-old out there that is just as ornery and loud and naughty with her talk back, and she's 14, and nobody believes me when I tell them until they open her mouth and see she has no teeth left. I think that's how they know.
yep.
She's old, but she plays with all 6 of them, and she's out there running with them, and they're just an awesome breed. So
So I will tell you a little story about PBGV. So I wanted a PBGV as my junior dog when they were first allowed.
Right.
Because so I'm kind of tall and I grew very quickly, and
Right.
I was showing a dachshund, and as you know, you get up and down all the time. And I'm like, well, maybe if I got something a little bigger, it would be easier.
Yeah.
And at the time, Jeff Pepper told my mom, they don't stop ever. And mom's like, no. So literally when Tom got Vanity, I'm like, I wanted a PB like 40 years ago.
Right. And every time your dad visited, who did Vanity sit with? Like,
Oh my goodness.
every time.
They always pick the person in the room that you think might not be so into them, and they make that their favorite person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, he was into her.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad loves her.
Yeah.
They have a shared beard.
Yeah.
Yes.
They would clean each other's beards.
So,
Completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely
They-
have that. They know
Yeah.
that they have that.
They love me, but if Eric's rocking his beard,
Right?
they've got him. Oh, yeah.
How do they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they just know. They like the scruff.
it's true. And my dad's is like white, so it's even
Yeah.
more.
It's like-
They match.
This is
Yeah.
right.
He matched Vanity.
Good texture.
Yeah.
They like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Texture.
So you were talking earlier about grooming. You just did a little grooming thing as
I
well.
did.
So
I
how's
did.
that going?
I did the Jody Peckett has that website, All Things Dog College,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really fun. I just bought Robin Novak Springer grooming because I could never suck enough grooming out of her. So now was like, ooh, I can't wait to do that trick on my dog.
Mhm.
It's like, I got all into it. So Jody got me into doing it, and we've got 3. I think we're going to add the 4th with the Grand in my package too, because I did one. I threw in the Grand grooming at the end, but just basic conditioning, basic show prep, and just bathing and conditioning, just really getting them ready. I know people think it's a natural breed. It is a natural breed, as they should be rough. It does not mean they should have coat that is more than 3 inches long anywhere.
Or
It's just
Or be dirty.
or not brushed.
or be dirty. Absolutely. Mine get baths every week. Absolutely. And harsh hair does not get softened with the Barker shampoo. But it's just one of those things where just because it says it should be a rough look does not mean they should not be groomed. And in what they're originally bred to do is hunt rabbit in really rough terrain. If they have a soft coat, a long coat, a woolly coat, they're going to get stuck. They can't run. If you look at the photos from the 60s and 70s, even when they were in the same litters with Grands, you don't see this profuse amount of coat. You see coat that is shorter and dense and just harsh. The French don't keep them with soft coat. If they have a soft coat, I don't care what they look like. If they have a soft coat, they're out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the French will not put up with a soft coat, because if they go in a field with, 15 other PBs and one's getting tangled up and can't get out because its coat's not pulling out like a harsh coat will, what's the use of them? They can't keep up with a rabbit. So it's just trying to really understand that, one, our grooming should not be so extensive that they look like a wire. Obviously, they should never be scissored on. Everything should be pulled. But they need to have their coats pulled and keep it rolling and have a harsh coat. you don't ever want a soft PBG. Their legs should be as hard as their coats.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just one of those things. It's pulling the hair out, which they do in the field. And so trying to get that, it's a push-pull with judges. I get that my dogs are groomed beautifully. I get that they're groomed too much. I get that they're scissored, which you'll never find one of mine scissored. It's a hard breed. I love Bill McFadden, when he showed Donald, he's like, it's the most frustrating breed he's ever shown, because you could go from the breed level and they look great, and the judge in the group level say, I liked your dog, but it's a little too much, and then go best in show and then say, their coat is perfect. So I have a hard time with judges some because they've never lived with one to know how much coat they can grow. Like if we left them to let them grow, they'd be a Tibetan Terrier. They would have coat like you would not believe.
I'm fairly certain you yelled at me.
Yeah. I was like, get some hair out of her, because the longer it gets, the more dead it is.
Yeah.
So when it's dead, it's soft. And so you got to keep the healthy stuff coming in by pulling out some of that.
In our defense, when we brought Vanity a little hairy, we were told, oh, it's okay, I'll let it grow out, I'll do it. And I don't think she realized exactly how much hair she had grown in that period of time.
I was like, she can't have that much.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, that's what foggy weather will do.
We're in San Francisco, not Palm Springs.
Right. I know.
But the breed, I've been to a number of world shows and cuffs and all those things, and you're right. In other parts of the world, the coats, whether it is natural that they have them tighter, or it's grooming, that overall across the board there is less hair on PBGVs in the rest of the world than here in America.
Right.
That I feel the sentiment, Affin Pinchers, my parents' breed, scruffy but neat.
Right.
The problem is, as with anything else, I feel like it happens in America, it all goes to the extreme. So Affin Pinchers turned into black Bichons. I mean, versus these PBs where they were supposed to be, not over trimmed, that you guys, overall, the breed was being crucified for anything. And
anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah. And then they had we went through this other stage where you get left skirts underneath. Like I've had judges tell me they want to see more skirt under the dog. Well, when you're across the ring, they should be a compact breed with leg under them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have a full skirt, because I'm sorry, you can't just judge with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't judge with their hands.
Yep.
If you have this much hair under their underline, they're going to look like they have no legs. They're not a Basset. They are supposed to have legs. They should appear short backed and just be a compact, robust little animal.
But they're not dwarfs. They are not a dwarf.
No. I mean, it's just it's a very hard to explain with our standard with the grooming. No other country has anything like our standard has the grooming. It's just way too much emphasis on the grooming. Talk to me about their proportions. They are so important. Where you measure from, where, we have it down in every other country, an exact science. Every country kind of varies a little, but we can measure them from every, and then ours is just, make sure their grooming's not overdone.
It's funny that you say that, because the Dachshund standard is very long. Very long.
Yeah, we just went through this with your parents
We went through this with my parents last week. Half of our standard describes coat and color.
Right.
So as a judge that's judging an American dog, so PBGVs, you have an extensive part of your standard talking about grooming. Those judges who don't know are going to say, well, if they're going to put so much of the standard and include that, well, it must be important. It's like on dachshunds. Well, if half of the standard is talking about coat and color, clearly it must be important. I mean, forget what the front's built like. We
want the dog underneath. We want those legs. We want the proportion right. We want,
Right.
And it's so funny because I had that Soul Trader bitch, Annie Mac, that was so crystal white. She just didn't have any ticking. And I told Gavin when we got her, I was like, I'm going to struggle with this one. And she's probably the best one I ever showed. And I said, I'm going to struggle with this one because she's so crystal white. They're going to say she's overgroomed. And she had a beautiful coat, and her son does too. And I'll have the same issues with him. But I knew Calamity would win more because she has all that ticking through her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she appears messier. She has a great coat, but she's a touch longer than I would like. You know, she's got great leg under, but I groomed her the way I wanted her groomed her whole career after her puppies. And now I can see she is so much shorter back than she looked. She has leg under her. I'm like, the things I was knocking her for was because I was looking at the way I would see photos. And I'm like, God, she looks so long. And then when I got to peel that hair off of her after her puppies, I'm like, you know what? She's a fraction long, but I'll take that with a top line like that and a butt like that and a front like that. And I'm just like, if I could show her like she looks now, I think people would appreciate her even more. And I just don't know if I'll get that gutsy to do it yet.
Right.
I'm slowly going to do it the way I feel like. I mean, when you look at all the books and you see them, it's just like, you know, I feel like we're just getting the wrong point across with the grooming, and I've given in a little more than I think I should. I'm passionate about the breed, and I just truly believe that they should be much more compact than we show them to be.
So Janice, I will commit to you and you commit to me that I will not take a clipper to my long-haired dachshund's neck.
Gotcha.
No matter how many times I hear how fantastic that screaming tight 10 blade is, and you start working towards what you want on PBGVs. It's been put on the podcast now.
Okay.
That we are going to try.
Good.
That's official.
Yes. I like it.
It's in the record.
I like it. Yeah. I think for the purpose of the breed, you know, their coats should be presented the way the hunters would hunt with.
Right. A long-haired dachshund should not be a cocker spaniel.
Right. And they go to the ears and chop their ears off so their ears won't get tangled up in brush. So, you know, I'm sticking to it. I want to show them the way they're supposed to be shown.
All right.
And the way you would hunt with them. So I know a lot of people are cringing and thinking, oh, she's going to be worse. But no, I love them. So I'm going to present them the way they should be. So,
well, as we know, everybody has an opinion. So
yeah,
you'll never please everyone. So
I know. Oh, I know. I gave up pleasing everyone a long time ago. So I don't know why I've stuck this out so long. So I know. But
it's okay, Janice. We've all been there.
Thanks. So true.
So, any short-term plans? Just hanging out at the house, relaxing?
Yeah, I am working so much with these nails. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I've never been busier between the Barker new stuff, the nails, the grooming videos. I need a dog show to have a vacation. I'm like, for me, that's going to be where I relax. Working so much at home. I'm like, but I do get happy hour by the pool. We get time with my own guys to cuddle. Mm-hmm. So for now, I'm just enjoying that. My springers are going to have a hard time when I leave again because they have been thoroughly attached. Mm-hmm. So I'm just soaking it all in while we can. So,
and it's a good time of year to be stuck in Palm Springs. It's not crazy hot yet. So
it got a little hot this week, but that pool felt good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're enjoying it.
I like it. We might have to have a little session on how to do makeup again though. Cause yeah. I haven't done it in a long time. I'm like, that's why I enjoy the nails. Cause I just have to look down and I feel like my nails are done. So I look fine. Mm-hmm. I don't look in the mirrors. My hair's fine. I'm like, sorry, Eric. I have no makeup on. I have no hair done, but my nails look cute. That's all I have to look at, so I think it's fine.
Priorities.
It's all good.
Good.
I love it.
Good.
Thank you so much for doing our first little podcast.
It's special being the first.
And I just want to say, so there were some comments about the viewing and thinking of Green Acres. So I would just like to clarify, there is no Green Acres.
Green Acres sound.
Okay, so we do have our own little ditty that we played that I've picked out. Tom literally played 10 different things and said yes or no every time. And I created like a yes and a no pile. And then I listened to him again. And I'm like, I like that one. And we played it between our little break. So when Tom does the little thing, you might see it. The whole goal of it is to get that little, you kind of get like a little.
Yeah, you get moving. Yeah. I like it.
It's just a little
it's happy thing.
Dance. It's happy.
It is.
So
happy, like the glass of wine that's almost finished.
I do have wine. Just, these are wine cheeks.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get that.
And I think we will, when things are a little more somewhat back to normal, I know we discussed it before, but I think we maybe will travel down when it's cooler in your area. And maybe we'll do sort of an online kennel visit, kind of like we did up here.
I love it. Yeah.
And set up all my fancy stuff and,
Yes. Love it. There's lots of room to do that here. You're good.
Yeah. No, it would be great. It's been wonderful. I have to say kudos to you, Janice, for how you've essentially taken this time and stayed positive and really focused on this is out of my hands. What can I do?
It is. It is.
So kudos.
It doesn't mean I haven't had bad days. I just want people to know everybody has good days and bad days. And sometimes it sucks. And, and that's when you just call the people that make you happy. And then they make you happy and you move on and it's temporary.
Yep.
So I know it sounds all good, but I've had crappy days. So it just all comes in waves. But for the most part, I think we all just have to kind of sit down, deep breaths. It's going to get better.
Have a PBGV.
Right.
Have a PBGV.
That's
You
right.
can only be in such a bad mood when you got to look at these little faces.
Oh, it's true. That, I have to say, fan captured.
Oh.
And it's not just Calamity. That is every PBGV I've ever met. That face.
I told him I wanted an action shot. And so he came and watched her at the garden. And he's like, I got it. And I was like, okay, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I got it. Because I was like, I don't know if pictures really capture it. And so he came and watched her. And then he sent me the first, and I was just like, even the little flips of the ear. It's just the smile. I mean, it's my favorite thing. I come and look at it all the time. I love it.
I can imagine.
So, and Eric made this. Eric painted this.
Really?
So my other favorite. Yeah. He's an artist. He holds that back, but he's really talented. But,
That's all right.
He's good.
That's awesome. I love it.
But thanks for having me, guys. This was fun.
You're welcome.
I miss you.
I miss you. We will include your little links to your Barker and your Facebook page for Color Street.
Yeah, I'll send you a message later and ask you for some details so I can link it to the different, once we figure out how it's all getting uploaded and stuff. So
cool.
And if we don't see you before, at some point, we'll see you at a dog show.
Yeah.
If not, Tom's going to come to the house.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Come on. We've got plenty of room for you.
I love it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So
that was our friend Janice. Those of you that are on the podcast and you want to see the whole thing, you can go to our YouTube channel. It'll be there.
Yep. So we will have it posted, the kind of raw video of our little setup here on the YouTube channel, so you'll be able to listen to it and watch there. If you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, you can follow us at Pramada Koradox on both, and you can just get to see little pictures and updates of our mini farm and what's going on around here, updates to our podcast and other random whatevers. So thanks for listening, and we will probably be back in another week or so with something else. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.